A very good morning, sorry, a very good evening to everyone present here. I am Simran Jagatyo, the coordinator at Law Internships and moderator for today's interactive session organized by Law Internships. We have amongst us Advocate R. Abishake Castro, sir. Sir is the president, founder, and chairperson of Castro Lexidiv Foundation and present advocate at Madras High Court. Sir is a third generation lawyer and certified international blockchain advisor, and right now a PG student of LLM in business law. He is a university distinction rank holder during his UG and had addressed 100 plus national and international conferences, presented research papers. He received the award from Election Commission of India as the best speaker from Shri Banwarilal Purohit, Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu. He also received the Best Speaker Award consecutively for the past 5 years from 2015 to 2020 from Dr. Ambedkar Law University, Tamil Nadu. He is also holding a lot of students' leadership offices in the university and also had received India's Best Law Student the year 2020 bestowed by Honorable Justice Kurian Joseph, former Judge, Supreme Court of India and LI Group of Foundation. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much, Simran, for your wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. I'm much humbled by your words. Good evening to all the participants from across India. And the participants who are watching YouTube live, participants who are in the Zoom meeting room, and dear students and the interns, good evening to all. I'm very happy to be in the midst of you all to address on a very, very important case of Indian judicial history. So it gives me immense pleasure to address on this particular case. First of all, I would like to pay my tributes to Shri Rajiv Gandhi, former Prime Minister of India. He was a dynamic leader. He was a great visionary who had a lot of ideas and visions to empower the progress scale of India in the area of health, in the area of technology, in the area of international trade. And he is the pioneer in bringing the universal immunization program, what we are calling about the mass vaccination program during his tenure. And he was a great leader, a young dynamic leader, and he was one of the youngest Prime Minister of India. So in such a way, during the very short period of his tenure from 1984 to 1987, Honorable former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi has done a lot of things to India, a lot of development, a lot of growth, a lot of progress he has given to India. So, and he was one of the youngest Prime Minister of India also. And widely across the world, he was a very charming, very attractive, charismatic figure of an Indian Prime Minister in the time when he was holding that office. So I pay my tributes and respects to the former Prime Minister Shri Rajiv Gandhi through this event before beginning my address on this particular case. So when we look at this particular case, this is one of the very horrific assassinations happened in the world. When you look into the assassination history in the world, for example, I would like to quote some of the very important assassinations happened across the world. Abraham Lincoln assassination. Participants, please mute your video. It's my humble request to the participants. So when we look at the global world history, many assassinations happened across the world. For example, former President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln's assassination in a theater by Wilkes Booth, and John F. Kennedy's assassination, and assassination of Mahatma Gandhi, assassination of Benazir Bhutto, assassination of former Prime Minister of India, Srimati Indira Gandhi, and assassination of Rajiv Gandhi, and a lot of etc. Many assassinations happened across the world. But when it comes to Indian context, this case is an Indian context case. So I would like to brief on the Indian scenario. What are the previous assassinations India has seen? India has gone through. So Rajiv Gandhi assassination is one of the horrific, gruesome, and deadly assassination which has been strategically carried out in such a way that it's very brutal. When you look at the complete story of this assassination, the planning, it's very brutal. But this is not the first assassination India is witnessing. Before Rajiv Gandhi's assassination, we have witnessed a lot of assassination. Father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, has been assassinated by Nathuram Godse in 1948. And Srimati Indira Gandhi has been assassinated by her Sikh guardians in Akbar Road, New Delhi in 1984. After that, 6 years, in 1991, India is witnessing a very horrific, gruesome, brutal, deadly assassination of Sri Rajiv Gandhi. So this assassination, why I selected, why I advised this forum to take into discussion is that this assassination has an unanswered question and unasked queries. That's the reason I advised this forum to organize on this particular case. Because when I was in my college days, I have analyzed more on this particular case. I have met the people, those who have interfered in investigation in this particular case. I have had a discussion with them. I have had analysis on this particular case so in depth. So I would like to decide that what is the actual unanswered area and the unasked question in this particular case. When it comes to Rajiv Gandhi assassination, why this assassination happened? Because when you discuss about the global various assassinations, there are conspiracy theories existing in each and every case. When it comes to John F. Kennedy, former president of the United States assassination, there are various conspiracy theories has been sketched out by Warren Commission, which has been investigating the particular matter in the United States. They were listing out various conspiracy theories, Grassy Knot conspiracy, why not Ted Cruz involved in this particular assassination, why Cuba and Castro might have been conspired in this particular assassination, and whether the government did this assassination of John F. Kennedy, and whether the mob has did this assassination, whether an umbrella man has did this assassination. So various contemplations, various views, and various perspectives, the conspiracy theories has been sketched out in John F. Kennedy's assassination case. John F. Kennedy has been shot dead. He was shot by a gunman from a tower, and he succumbed and he died immediately. But Rajiv Gandhi assassination is not like he was not shot by a gun. But when it comes to Rajiv Gandhi assassination is not a, you cannot even predict when they have decided to assassinate him in this particular case when it comes to Rajiv Gandhi assassination, because several attempts has been made. It will be very interesting when I'm sharing this complete story. You will feel very interesting. Several attempts has been made, not only in India, in overseas also. When Rajiv Gandhi visited London, there an attempt to kill him has been made. And when he visited Sri Lanka, there also an attempt has been made. And in New Delhi, when he went to pay his tribute to Bapu, Mahatma Gandhi ji, that time an attempt has been made. And several attempts has been made, and Rajiv Gandhi's life was under threat in several situations. But in Sri Perumbudur, finally, in 1991, May 21, during an election campaign at Sri Perumbudur in Tamil Nadu, finally the assassination plan has been executed. So why? What is the reason behind this assassination? Why we are talking more about this assassination? What are the criminal jurisprudence? What are the conspiracy theories? And what are the flaws committed by the CBI? What are the flaws committed by the investigating officers? And what are the problems existing in this particular case, which is unanswered, which is unasked? That is the main point which I'm going to address it to. So this is not going to be a story. It's going to be an rethinking process of Indian criminal jurisprudence. That's the reason this topic is very crucial and important to be addressed. So when we discuss about the complete story, how it all happened, because even in the CBI inquiry or investigation, they did not even pinpoint in any place the plan to commit this horrific assassination has been decided on this particular date and executed on this particular date. There is no any kind of justification on this particular area. Even the CBI did not mention anything like that. Because several situations, several attempts, there is no concrete decision. The decision to kill him has made on this particular date. There is no anything like that. Several moments, several situations, several years, several days it took to execute it, to accomplish this. So why Rajiv Gandhi should be targeted? So we will look into the complete story, how he became the prime minister and how he was targeted. What are the reasons? Because in 1984, when Indira Gandhi was assassinated due to the Operation Blue Star, effect by the Sikh guardians in Akbar Road, New Delhi, accidentally Rajiv Gandhi came to the politics and he became the prime minister of India in 1984. His aim is not into politics. He was a pilot and he wanted to live a peaceful life, but he belongs to a Gandhian family. He is the son of the former Prime Minister of India, Srimati Indira Gandhi. That was his life. That's it. He was a pilot. And he is an enthusiast of aeronautics. But what happened after the sudden shocking death of Srimati Indira Gandhi in 1984 by an assassination? Accidentally, Rajiv Gandhi is becoming the Prime Minister of India in 1984. From 1984 to 1987, he has given a better governance, as I discussed in my introduction, as a tribute to the former Prime Minister. So, in the time, what happened? Rajiv Gandhi is making several decisions when it comes to the Tamil Elam issues, the LTT, the liberation, Tigers of Tamil Elam issue. When it comes to that, Rajiv Gandhi is making several decisions to bring peace in Sri Lanka. He is sending the Indian peacekeeping force during the tenure to bring peace, to bring a consensus between the Sri Lankan government and the LTTE group in Tamil Elam in Sri Lanka. And Rajiv Gandhi has made several steps to sign an Indian Sri Lankan accord, but due to the lack of consensus, it was getting delayed. And in various forums, Rajiv Gandhi used to reiterate and contend that I'll be bringing the Indo-Sri Lankan accord, I'll be bringing peace in Sri Lanka. As a prime minister, he was making a lot of indefatigable efforts to bring such accord. And when he sent that Indian peacekeeping force to Sri Lanka, that Indian peacekeeping force had a more Sikh regime armaments. Many went to Sri Lanka, and that Indian peacekeeping force has done an unleashed atrocities to our own Tamil Elam people in the Sri Lankan, northern Sri Lanka, Yalpan, in those areas. So what happened? That was really a setback to LTTE, and the LTTE has an agony, lot of sufferings due to the Indian peacekeeping force. And LTTE created a personal enmity against the former prime minister. There everything begins. There the root cause for the everything. What are the rest of the story? I'm going to brief it. There everything begins. Even before his assassination, and LTTE delegates, they met for the prime minister, discussed in Delhi about the next steps. And in the time, nobody was able to predict something is going to happen. Rajiv Gandhi is going to get assassinated. Nobody was able to smell it out. But when it comes to the election promise, what Rajiv Gandhi kept in 1991, he told that I'll be resending the Indian peacekeeping force to Sri Lanka. I'll be signing the Indo-Sri Lankan accord with the Sri Lankan government. And this triggered a lot of sentimental, emotional, and then angry among the LTTE faction. So they decided we have to kill the former prime minister. We have to assassinate the former prime minister. So during that governance, what he has delivered from 1984 to 1987, the Sri Lankan issue was a very big task, very big challenging issue before former Prime Minister Sri Rajiv Gandhi. So Rajiv Gandhi was trying his level best to have a good bilateral ties between various nations, Sri Lanka, China, and all the nations across the world. But Rajiv Gandhi was very happy that he is giving a better governance in various perspectives when it comes to digital technology and when it comes to various other programs, what he was planning under his governance. But when it comes to the international ties, he wants India to boom in all the field. He wants India to emerge as a global superpower, and he had a great vision for India. So many superpowers was not happy with the various stands Rajiv Gandhi has kept because of he prioritized India's growth. He prioritized India's economic reforms in those days itself, under his tenure itself. But Indian economic reforms came in 1991 after Narasimha Rao became prime minister. But he prioritized everything which will give a full-scale growth and national development and the global progress for India. So what happened when it comes to this particular case? What is happening? Now I'm going to enter into the complete story of the assassination. What happened? In 1991, May 21, night 10:10 p.m., this assassination is taking place. Rajiv Gandhi is coming from Delhi to Visakhapatnam, accompanying the Southern State Congress in charge G.K. Mupanar to take part in various rallies. Before this election campaign geared up, many leaders, Congress leaders, global leaders, even the governors, former governors of the states of India, even Narayan, the former governor of Tamil Nadu, he himself warned Rajiv Gandhi, please don't come to Tamil Nadu. Please don't come for rally. You're taking part in several rallies, more than 40 rallies. And then you are breaching the protocol of the prime minister, a former prime minister. And you're taking part in all the rallies in the midst of a huge crowd and you're breaching the protocol. This is not safe for you. Your life is under threat. They told him. They warned him. He ignored, he did not lend his ears to any of the warnings. He wants to reach out to the people and his target was to win the 1991 parliamentary elections. And he wants to become the Prime Minister of India. That was his target. So he visited several rallies. He came to Visakhapatnam on May 21, 1991 in the morning. He finished the rally over there. Then he is come to the Chennai, the capital city of Tamil Nadu. And his plan is to go to various locations in Chennai. He's campaigning in various areas. He's going to Sri Perambudur as a last campaign site where Srimati Maragadam Chandrasekhar, the MP candidate of Sri Perambudur constituency, is contesting. He's going there to campaign for her. So after finishing his election campaign in the pathways, at the end, night 10:10 p.m., he's reaching Sri Perambudur. Who all are the assassins of this particular case? LTTE enthusiast. So he is taking part in several rallies, reaching Sri Perambudur by night 10:10 p.m. And he is taking part in the last rally of particular day at Sri Perambudur, accompanying the Congress list. What exactly happened in the site of the commission of the assassination? We have to look into that. What exactly happened? Rajiv Gandhi reached the site of the rally, Sri Perambudur, by night 10, and he is getting down from his white ambassador car. He is garlanding Indira Gandhi's statue, his mother's statue, and he is proceeding towards the dais where he is going to address and campaign for Srimati Maragadam Chandrasekhar at Sri Perambudur. What is happening in the night time? A school girl is coming to read poetry as a tribute to former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. He was listening to the poem. And the assassin, Danu was the assassin. Danu has tied a RDX latent belt tuckled below her dress, and she was standing in the particular place among the crowd. And what is happening when Rajiv Gandhi is receiving garlands, shawls, and all the love and affection from the people. Danu is utilizing this. She is having a sandal garland in her hand, and she is trying to reach Rajiv Gandhi. Rajiv Gandhi is looking at her, and he is immediately calling her, please come, please give your garland. And immediately she is approaching near Rajiv Gandhi. She is giving the sandal garland to Rajiv Gandhi. She is falling in his feet, and she has tackled the RDX latent belt, I told, right, below her dress. She is detonating it, and immediately it is getting blasted. So Danu died on the spot. Rajiv Gandhi immediately collapsed, blasted into pieces. And after that, not only Rajiv Gandhi, 14 others also died. And several 53 people have been injured, and many are victimized. So this was the incident happened on May 21, night 10:10 p.m. at Sri Perambudur, Tamil Nadu. So now I have narrated you the complete story of the assassination, how everything took place. So now we will come to the criminal conspiracy theories in this particular case. When it comes to this perspective, you must also ask some questions. The reports of Justice Verma Commission, the contemplations and observations made by Justice Thomas, the former judge of the Supreme Court of India in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, the Jain Commission report, what the Jain Commission has submitted, and various other observations made by the CBI investigation officers. It may be Mr. Raghotaman, former CBI officer of Rajiv Gandhi case. It might be Mr. Karthikeyan, and various other investigating officers, what they observed, what are the conspiracy theory has been applied in this particular matter. You have to raise these kind of questions first of all in your mind. Then only I'll be answering to the questions one by one. So when it comes to the conspiracy theories, you all must know that it is a suicide bombing. It's a suicide bombing. First of all, you must know one thing. The assassins, they had a mens rea and motive to kill the former Prime Minister of India, Sri Rajiv Gandhi. They have done an actus reus. They have done a strategic planning. They have prepared a suicide bomb, the RDX latent explosive device. And they executed a strategic planning how to reach the place, where to fix the target, how to approach to the former Prime Minister, and how to execute it. They had a rehearsal, they had a planning, they had a strategy, they had a motive, they had a mission, and they had ideological backup also to do that. So in such a way, it was a very well-planned, pre-organized, not spot organized, planning to execute a leader of the nation. This you all must understand first generally about this time. When it comes to the various observations, what I told you all must understand that the leader who was assassinated is not just an opposition party leader. He is not just a politician. He is not just a member of parliament. He is the former Prime Minister of India, and he was the prime ministerial candidate for the particular election, 1991, India's parliamentary elections. He was the person who is contesting as a prime minister candidate in the election. If he is winning that election, he will be the next prime minister of India. So he is such a mass leader, an attractive leader, a strong leader of the Congress party. India is one of the national party which has ruled India for the past 50 years. So Rajiv Gandhi had such a kind of a rapport, a reach across the world also. So he is one of the very significant, unique, and very important leader in the Indian politics in that time. So what may be the reasons why Rajiv Gandhi has been assassinated? You must see these perspectives. Whether there is a security lapses in the arrangements made for the former Prime Minister's event in Sri Perambudur. Next point, any revenge, any vengeance taken by any forces because of his government decisions. Second point. Third point, even though there are security tight made in Sri Perambudur, who disrupted the entire security process? So for these kind of questions you have to raise in your mind. What was the motive behind the Rajiv Gandhi assassination? Why Rajiv Gandhi was completely relaxed, breaching all the security protocols in all his rallies, several rallies he addressed across India. Why he did that? In the midst of several warnings. So these kind of questions you have to raise. So Justice Verma Commission, they have made a research and study. As soon as after that incident, Justice Verma Commission has been set up. Justice Verma Commission has made a study on this assassination, and they have found it that even though the security arrangements has been made, the security arrangements has been completely disrupted by the local Congress workers. This has been identified by the Justice Verma Commission. And Justice Verma Commission only recommended for an Indian Prime Minister, for an Indian leader, we need to give a special security task force, what we call Ijat security and etc. security plus security is what we are calling now. They recommended strong special security forces to the prime ministers. What now the current prime minister have the security forces, right? It's all recommended by Justice Verma Commission. So this was not accepted. The Congress workers disrupted the security arrangements. That's the reason this assassination happened. This was not accepted by the Narasimha Rao government in 1991. They denied, they ignored this kind of an accusations on the Congress workers. But later, due to the compulsion and pressure, they accepted this, and they have brought a lot of reformations in the security protocol for a prime minister. This happened as per Justice Verma Commission report. So what has been happened in the investigation of CBI? What has been happened? CBI officer Raghotaman, several situations and several interviews, he has accused the former CBI officer Karthikeyan, and he has also accused various other officers, the intelligence bureau director, for hiding the evidences, for burying the evidences, and they were not conducting a fair CBI inquiry in this particular case. CBI inquiry has been flawed. It's an unpardonable flaw. Even Justice Thomas, former judge of the Supreme Court of India, stated this in several occasions. So what happened actually? Why the CBI inquiry is always doubtful when it comes to Rajiv Gandhi's assassination case? So now we will go to the assassins. Who all are these assassins? What is their life? What is their background? What is their situation? What is their scenario? Where they hail from? What is their occupation? Who all are they? First, we have to raise this question also. Now I have expressed you, now I have briefed you who has been assassinated, what are the flaws committed in the CBI inquiry, what are the flaws committed in the various other inquiries and commissions which has happened in this particular case. When it comes to the background of these assassins, they all are from middle class, some are from a poor background. That's the reason I used to quote a word here. Justice given by love is surrender. Justice given by law is punishment. That is what happening in India. So when we look at the scenarios, the background of the assassins, Nalini, Perarivalan, Shantan, Robert, and then other assassins, Vatrikan, Sivaras, and various other people who contributed, who made their presence in this assassination execution. The cameraman Haribabu and several people have been accused in this matter. These people are coming from a poor and a middle background. That's the reason I'm telling, when the law is inflicted, it should not be high inflicted to the poor and less inflicted to the rich. The law must be neutral in judging, and law must give a fair trial to everybody, and law must punish the real offender, the real person who has committed the particular offense. The law should not show any kind of partiality. It should be impartial. Law should not be prejudgmental. It must apply the mind in such a way that with conscience, with fairness, with equity, with justice, and it must balance everything and look into the scenario. Law should not be high to the rich, and law should not be low to the poor. The rule of law must balance everything and decide in a fair manner. So this is the very important message I would like to deliver to the students community over here. In this case, what happened? The Tada court in Chennai, because this particular offense, this particular crime comes under the Terrorism Disruptive Activities Act, Tada Act, Tada Poda we had in those days. So the Tada court in Chennai, after investigating based on the submissions made by the CBI, they have decided death sentences to all the offenders who have committed, who was accused in this particular case. They were given death sentence. So as per the Terrorism Activities, Disruptive Activities Prevention Act, the TADA, if a person is sentenced for death sentence, they cannot go for appeal to the High Court. They can only go for appeal to the Supreme Court of India. So directly they have to approach the Supreme Court. Because of the normal law which Indian courts will follow, we cannot go to the appeal to the High Court of Madras. We have to go to appeal to the Supreme Court of India. This is the actual scenario in that time. So when these people are going to appeal to the Supreme Court of India, to the bench of Justice Thomas, what happened actually in that particular case is that several observations have been made by Justice Thomas and Justice Vadva in this particular case. What observations they have made? I would like to list out certain observations. Justice Vadva states that the assassin's only motive is to assassinate the former Prime Minister of India, Sri Rajiv Gandhi. They did not have any motive to assassinate or kill any other people or Congress party workmans or several other people who made their presence in the particular election rally. So how it comes under TADA? This was one observation made by Justice Vadva. And another observations made by Justice K.T. Thomas is that Justice Thomas in several occasions doubted the CBI investigation in this particular case. And he also said there is a fundamental flaw in this particular CBI investigation in the particular case. And Justice Thomas also cited particular case, not even a situation or time, they have not observed in this time, in the situation decided to assassinate. That was not a concrete view the CBI had in this particular case. At this moment only they decided to assassinate Rajiv Gandhi. They did not have kind of a concrete view in the about CBI. And in several observations, what made by Justice and Justice Vadva particular case is that can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Now you're audible.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Now you're
Yes, sir,
audible.
you are audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, now I'm on. Yes, some network issues at least. So the several observations made by Justice K.T. Thomas and Justice Vadva shows that the CBI has not inquired this particular case properly. This was the observations they have made. So what happened when the Tada court have declared the death sentence? The accused are going to get executed. So then they are going to Honorable President of India under Article 72 for remission. For mercy plea, they are going. And considering the scenario of especially Nalini and then Perivalan and all these people, President of India has given a remission. A mercy plea has been accepted. And their death sentence has been commuted to life imprisonment. And I want to state one thing here. Life imprisonment, even 14 years of life imprisonment who is undergoing in the prison, they are getting released. But this particular case, even after doing 26 years of rigorous imprisonment, more than life imprisonment, very severe imprisonment, these people are not released still. Still the matter is under dispute. Even though a resolution has been passed in the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly, the former chief in Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha, governor did not accept that, did not even decide on the matter. Now the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin, has written a letter to the former President of India, Ramnath Gopal, to decide on this matter. Still, there is no response. So when it comes to this particular case, justice delayed is justice denied, just hurried is justice buried. Can you hear me now? Participants, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Now you're audible.
Decided this particular case based on the confessions made by the offenders. Can you hear me, Simran? Simran, can you hear me?
Sir, your voice is
Participants,
breaking.
can you hear me?
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Now you're audible. Now it's clear.
Can you hear me? Some network issues I'm facing here, nothing else.
So it's.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. You're audible now.
Now can you hear me? Yes, right.
Yes,
Some
sir.
network
Yes,
I'm
sir.
facing. Nothing else. Tata court has sentenced these offenders, these assassins, for a death sentence. They decided only based on the confessions made by the offenders. And later, these offenders, they themselves said, the court has been decided this particular matter under duress. They did not even apply the application of mind in this particular matter. The CBI inquiry was not fair. There was no fair trial done in this particular case. Even Nalini, many occasions she has stated, the actual offenders of this matter are left free, they are out. But we are innocent. We did not do this offense. So when it comes to this perspective, the law is different to the rich, the law is different to the poor. In this perspective, we have to see no other way. Because as I said, justice of law is surrender, a justice of law is punishment. So that reformative theory of punishment, that also not applied in this particular matter. Beyond the humanity, the inhuman approach is done to this particular case, to the offenders, to the assassins, the so-called assassins. So what are the agonies faced by Perivalan's mother? She is fighting for her son's right, liberty, freedom. But still, that was not answered. The mother's agony was not answered. So, and another important view is what I would like to state here is that the observations made by the judge hear me now, Simran? I am facing a network issues. Can you hear me now, Simran?
Yes, it's okay, sir. Yes, you're audible. You're audible.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Observations made by the Jain Commission report. I would like to state that also. Jain Commission's observations. So Jain Commission observed in several ways this particular matter. The Jain Commission's observation is that in the Jain Commission, one of the accused person, Ranganath, said Chandrasamy was the main man who financed this particular assassination. That was the accusation kept by Ranganath, one of the accused in this particular case. And the Jain Commission, the interim report of the Jain Commission accused the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. Karunanidhi, also has played a vital role in this assassination. So the several observations are made in different commissions. Justice Verma Commission observed in a different way, CBI has observed in a different way, and Jain Commission has observed in a different way. So what is the final view? What is the final, what was the kind of an submission on this particular matter is still under question. Actually, who has committed the particular horrific assassination is still under question. So as I discussed, when it comes to Rajiv Gandhi assassination, when it comes to John F. Kennedy assassination, when we compare both assassination, as I told you very clear, John F. Kennedy assassination, it is very clear the Grossi knot conspiracy theory, Umberland Man conspiracy theory, and then Cuba and Fidel Castro conspiracy theory, and the mob hit John F. Kennedy conspiracy theory, and various other conspiracy theory has been applied. But when it comes to Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, the conspiracy theory is only circling to the so-called who are in prison, for these many years. It's suckling them only. It is not going out of anything, out of them. So the CBI's view, even Justice K.T. Thomas stated, it has an unpardonable flaws. There is no fair trial. There is no fair investigation in CBI. But see, 26 years they spent in prison. They did not get released. So see, so that's the reason I state here, justice of love is surrender, justice of law is punishment. So there is no mercy, there is no any kind of rethinking of this particular issue in a humanitarian perspective was not. This is what I want to quote here to you people. As I told you, several questions when it comes to the trial, observations made by Justice K.T. Thomas, Justice Wadhwa, and then observations made by Justice Verma Commission, observations made by Jain Commission, and various other observations made by CBI, Mr. Gautam, and CBI officer Karthik, former intelligence director, and the various other investigating officers. It very clearly shows that the fair trial, and there is a flaws in the CBI inquiry in this particular case. It shows very clear. It shows very clear. But look at the agonies, the pain, what the kith and kin, the family, and then the prisoners are undergoing in this particular case. This have to be observed by you people in a humanitarian perspective. What is happening? So this is the observation. This is the observation you people have to do on this particular matter. This is what I am coming to convey finally. And when it comes to the Rajiv Gandhi's assassination, this assassination and LTTE, this is very, very important matter. Even Prabhakaran in one of the event, he said it is a sorrowful event. And LTTE spokesperson Anton Balasingham, when he was speaking to NDTV, he also regretted for the event and he also contended it is a sorrowful event. And LTTE, in many occasions, they are targeted in this particular case. And in 2009, you know about the Sri Lankan and LTTE war, what happened in that, you all know that very well. So these kind of, LTTE has been targeted. LTTE has been targeted. And this investigation was only in the perspective of LTTE in this particular case when it comes to this particular case. Two reasons they are telling. Rajiv Gandhi was planning to sign the Indo-Sri Lankan Accord, and Rajiv Gandhi was planning to send the Indian peacekeeping force to Sri Lanka. This was the two reasons why LTTE assassinated. And you can also watch these movies, various perspectives, one matter in different perspectives. The Mission 90 Days, the movie Cyanide, and then the movie Kutra Patrika, and the movie, Madras Cafe, and the movie Cyanide, the movie Terrorist. These movies are also portraying one particular matter in a different perspective. These people are the reasons, these people are the reasons, this is the motive, this is the main objective, this is the aim of executing this particular assassination. So various contemplations, various views on one particular case. So you have to observe these things. The cinematography, how they are depicting, how they are projecting, how they are portraying the matter. This also have to be observed when it comes to this Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. So another important thing, what I would like to quote here is that the main important observations has been done by the trial. In the trial, what has happened? The several accused, they all have been convicted and given death sentence by the confessions what they themselves made, what they said. For example, you must look at this scenario. Perarivalan was a very young boy, 8-year-old boy, and he was asked to buy a wire. He purchased the wire and he has given. He doesn't know that wire is going to be used to manufacture, or the wire is going to be used to prepare a RDX explosive latent bomb, a suicide bomb. He got a bill and he has given in his name. And as he brought the wire and give it to the person who is preparing the bomb, and he was booked. So in such a way, Nalini was not directly involved. Nalini's husband Murugan was an LTT enthusiast, and he has an excess connect with the group, the assassin planning group, and Nalini has been booked. So in such a way, it comes to the prisoners who all are suffering today. They all are coming from the various walks of life, and they came to this picture portrayed as in prisoners and offenders in this particular case. When you study the various books, you can come to know this. One particular case, different views and different books. When it comes to Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, the unanswered question and unasked queries written by Subramanian Swamy, you can read the books. You will come to know a lot of views on this particular topic. And the conspiracy of Rajiv Gandhi assassination, the files from CBI written by former CBI officer Raghutam, and Beyond the Tigers, tracking Rajiv Gandhi's assassination, Rajiv Sharma. That book can be read by you people. And Bypass is one of the documentary film which has been made to look into the forensic investigation made in this particular case. So these books, you have to read it. And there is a book in Tamil also, written by Congress leader Tiruchi Veerchami on Rajiv Gandhi assassination, bringing out the truth. So there are a lot of books available. So you can read those books and you will come to know even more information in a forensic perspective, criminal jurisprudence perspective, investigation perspective, and the judicial perspective. In various ways, you will come to know. So when it comes to this case, we all must learn procedural perspective of law, the fair trial, whether the trial is fair or not. The rule of law is applied or not. The law should be low to the rich. The effect of law should be low to the rich. The effect of law will be high to the poor. We have to observe this perspective. We have to observe the judicial response to the matter, how they have observed. And the CBI inquiry, how the CBI investigation carried out in this particular matter. And
I think due to some technical issues, Mr. Castro has left. He'll be joining back soon.
can you hear now? Can you hear me?
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Yes, now can you hear me? Yes, now
Yes,
can you
sir.
hear me?
Yes, sir. Now it's audible.
Yeah. As message, what I would like to give in this particular session is that we have to see the importance of fair trial, the CBI inquiry, the judicial response. What yes, now can you hear me? And give me a conclusion. Yes, can you hear me? Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So as a conclusion, what I would like to give is that the fair trial, the judicial response, the national impact this case has been created, the politics behind this particular case, whether the application of law is done in the right perspective on this particular case, impartially, without prejudgmenting, and how the rule of law is very important. Law is same to the poor, law is same to the rich, kind of an approach, the constitutional perspective of approach. And as a conclusion, I would that's it
Sorry,
for
sorry, your voice is not audible.
my time is gone. Yeah, I've finished. Thank you so much. You can hear me. That's it over. Session is over. I have concluded. Simran, you
Sorry,
can conclude.
not audible, sir.
Sir, but you were not audible in between.
Simran, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, sir. Now you can.
Now can you hear me?
We are here.
You can conclude. You can conclude the session. Yes, over. That's it. Over. That's it. Some network issues I'm facing. You can conclude it. Yes.
Further, I would like to move with vote of thanks. On behalf of Team Law Internships, we would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Advocate R. Abhishake Castro, sir, for taking out from his busy schedule and interacting with the young minds. It was truly an enriching session. Thank you, sir, for sharing such wonderful knowledge and experience with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.